cheer it for your Golden State Warriors.
On the road and hungry for a win against the Western Conference rival, the San Antonio Spurs are ready for this one to get started. The fans are making noise here inside the Oracle Arena for their Warriors. Welcome to what should be a great Saturday night for the NBA. This is Kevin Harlan, and here with me tonight, Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke reporting from the sideline. The drive by Green. Can't get it to go. The Warriors go the other way. A nice bounce back year for Harrison Barnes, Clark, in year 3. Moved into the starting lineup last year and really responded.
Yeah, he did. I think he benefited from the new system. He was miscast as an isolation scorer, but when he can spot up for threes and catch the ball on the move, that's his game.
A look at the San Antonio Spurs opening lineup. Defensive-minded Green and Leonard are the wings. Duncan is out there with LaMarcus Aldridge. And it's Parker in at the point.
And how about that? Just an easy way to get on the board.
And just like that, Greg, the first lead belongs to them.
I tell you what, Harrison Barnes, very athletic. He certainly passes the eye test. And with his size, he can punish smaller wings and create mismatches. And then also he can play some small ball power forward at times as well with the way they like to space the floor. And how about that for a response?
Well, it sounded as though, or at least it looked as though it sounded like, we'll give you a 3, and then we'll take it right back.
Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie.
About a minute and a half through the first quarter.
And you talk about Harrison Barnes overall. He had a nice uptick in his rebounding last year, and that was a goal of his. He wanted to get his activity level up. And oftentimes the difference between being good and great is just making those small incremental improvements in different facets of the game.
Such a wide open look. Curry's got 5 points so far.
I tell you what, guys, it's going to be a tough day on this defense if he's got the A game rolling tonight.
Plays it in off the breakaway. San Antonio's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Shoots from 12, and he drops that one in.
And really smart to draw his man out to the perimeter. He's giving up too much size to be effective inside.
Showed nice basketball IQ. I agree, Greg. I mean, if he finds his spot on the perimeter and doesn't force it, I think his outside shot will be hard to block no matter who's defending.
Now here's Parker after the miss from Stephen Curry. A 3 from Leonard. Barnes grabs the miss. It's Curry with the drive. Count the bucket. Curry's got 9.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Again, Leonard missing.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
What a year for the Warriors. Clark won their division for the first time in 39 years, ran away with the very tough Western Conference.
And there were a number of surprises last season, Kevin, but the Warriors were at the top of the list. I mean, I don't think anybody, including you and I, pegged them to be as good as they were.
Especially the way the finals began.
Exactly.
And
San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game.
And Steph Curry, 6'3" and about 195. I mean, a slender frame. You look back to high school and college, and that was one of the question marks. Did he have the strength to succeed?
Andre Iguodala. He's checked in for Harrison Barnes. The Spurs also with the sub. Mills, he's checked in for Tony Parker. And Mills kicks to Duncan. Stolen by Thompson. Launches it. And another 3 for Golden State. And speaking of Curry's slight build, he's worked up and bulked himself up. He's added some muscle. He even got up to 200 pounds, I think he said. But he didn't feel real good, Clark, at that weight.
Yeah, it's not about the weight, Kevin. It's about strength. You need it to fight through screens and attack the rim, and he's clearly put on the strength he needs to play at his highest level. Well defended that time. He's a shooter that the defense has to close down on quickly when he's ready to pull that trigger. You've got to be in his face and not give him any space.
And you can see, Clark, that he has garnered the attention of the defense here. They are not going to allow him to get those kinds of looks. And what a beautiful way to polish off that sequence. Just strong at attacking the rim.
That just puts a little more momentum on their side, don't you think?
Absolutely.
The defense got to tighten up now. I mean, you can't have the opposing point guard throwing down on you like that.
Well, that's one way he can finish, but far from the only way he gets it done. He's got all kinds of tricks up his sleeve.
And the wide open shot from Green. And they're scoring pretty well as we conclude. And LaMarcus Aldridge, the franchise player on this team, without question. He talked about the response.
In every aspect, it's a change for us.
Greg, does that acceptance come with putting a whole lot more pressure on yourself? And if so, what does that do to LaMarcus Aldridge's game?
And, Kevin, that's what's going to be so interesting to find out. Some players, they really relish in that situation. They rise to that occasion. Others, I don't want to say they wilt under the pressure, but they're just not comfortable in that environment. And in the NBA, you get to do it on TV and in front of thousands in person.
That's his first personal foul.
And now the second quarter just getting set to start. All right, we'll take a look now at how the points have been generated so far. A scoring breakdown for the Warriors.
They've set the first half tone by getting out on the fast break and getting the defenders on their heels.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too.
It's the Splash Brothers, Curry and Thompson. They're in the backcourt. The defensive stalwarts, Green and Bogut, are down low. And it's Iguodala in at the small forward. So that's the group out there for Golden State.
Listen, Kawhi Leonard hasn't been in the league for a long time, but he's feeling right at home. Said last season he wants to remain a Spur for life. Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Could be. A dunk like that coming off a great defensive play has to build some momentum.
Lobs it up. Green with the block. And they'll keep possession. Thompson with the bucket. Spurs trail by 6. And for Leonard to hear players say that a lot, but rarely before they reach the end of their rookie contract.
Yeah, I think Leonard just realizes what a special situation he found himself in. I mean, he is the complete package as a player and custom made for how the Spurs like to play and do things. Well, he took that defender head on and threw down the two-hander power jam.
Straight power there, guys.
You just gotta love that determination. Well, they're in the lead, but he's still been frustrated from an offensive standpoint.
And the shot is good. 14 points for Tim Duncan.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now, Greg, they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen.
Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession. 1:44 left to play here in the second quarter. Curry kicks to Green. Good, and Curry gets the assist. Green's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
A wide-open 3. They need much better communication defensively.
Here's Duncan, and he jams it with authority.
How about that fantastic finish and the aggressive move, too, Kevin?
Trying to send a message, Clark, with that slam, I think.
And I'm not sure if it was text or email, but he definitely threw that one down.
Green dishes to Bogut. How's that for an answer? Right back with the dunk.
And very little fight put up by the defense as he made his way to the bucket for the jam.
They did seem to take the cautious approach, Greg, when it came to defending that one. You're right.
And, guys, it's not the time for caution now. I mean, they've got to be aggressive and take some risk to see if they can cut that lead down.
Oh, boy, I tell you what, they don't get much uglier than the quarter he's having.
Yeah, and it's not showing any signs, Greg, of turning around here soon. I mean, his touch is basically gone AWOL.
Well, you know that Kawhi Leonard has an incredible reach with his...
Man, he got fancy with that one, didn't he?
Yeah, maybe trying to give them the momentum boost they need to break this game open.
I tell you what, I like that, though, guys. Some coaches might not want you to make a play like that, but I tell you what, when you got the skills like that, I say go for it.
Kevin, he's definitely making his presence felt here in the first half. He's been very effective so far.
And that is a major league flush right there, my friends.
And in a tight contest like this, Greg, that might be just what they need to get the tide rolling in their direction.
You're exactly right. I mean, so often when a team gets that kind of explosive play out of its backcourt, that can really rally and galvanize the whole squad.
No good from Bogut. Down low, here's Leonard, and he makes it look easy, dunking it hard with one hand.
Solid on the one-hand throw down there.
You know, Clark, when it's a tight ball game like this, he's the guy they want with the ball.
Yep.
Yeah, and one reason.
It's a tie game here in Oakland. And now we'll...
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here again with Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We welcome you back to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. The first half was all about Stephen Curry. He had 20 points, 3 steals, and 1 assist. Hey, big fella, what's your take on... And that's going to do it for now as the second half is almost ready to get started. Back to Kevin.
Well, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out a way here in the third. Really an incredible game from Stephen Curry.
You know, and as effective as he was at slashing to the hoop in that first half, even better at finishing once he got there.
Guys, we saw some amazing dunks from him. I can't imagine he'll be able to top those in these last 2 quarters. But I'd love to see him try.
On the court for San Antonio. Defensive-minded Green and Leonard are the wings. Aldridge out there with Duncan. And it's Mills in at the point guard. Curry, good.
That makes 3 in a row to start the second half.
Spurs trail by 8. Mills passes to Green. They need this. Drains the 3, and yes, he'll go to the line for one more. That one on Thompson. For a while, the Spurs were viewed as a slow-it-down team from their championships almost a decade ago. That isn't the case at all anymore, though.
You know, I think it took the viewing public quite a while to catch on, though, Kevin, because now most people look at the Spurs as one of the more exciting brands of basketball in our league. Just watching one game of them, and now you know that is the case.
3 from the inbound.
Yeah, but they're 3 of 4 to start the second half.
Aldridge with some nice D. They've definitely hit that groove offensively.
They sure have, guys. I mean, really aggressive. And I like that posture and mindset. Stay aggressive.
Greg, you like groove, don't you?
I do. Let's groove tonight, Kevin. And matter of fact, let's just stay in the attack mode that we're seeing from these guys. They're getting whatever they want.
You know, for the Spurs playing up tempo, I mean, they made that adjustment several years back, to their credit. Since then, they've been one of the more up-tempo and offensive-minded teams in the league.
And some stats to kind of back up the Spurs playing that up-tempo style. And they led the league last year in distance traveled as a team. Their players would cover almost 18 miles per game played. That tells you there's tremendous ball movement, but more importantly, body movement. And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Yeah, I think they've got to ramp up the aggressiveness, Greg. I mean, if they don't, things are just going to get worse from here.
Got that one up quick. 34 points for Steph Curry.
The D with very little pressure on their perimeter shooters. 3 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been of the 3-point variety.
And you need the defense to stop the bleeding.
And a wide open look for Iguodala. Bogut, Duncan with the block. Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession.
Man, I don't know what happened right there. He just basically walked out of bounds.
Warriors leading by 6. The drive by Thompson. And, yep, finally dropped after rolling around the rim. Thompson's got his 3rd basket of the night right there. And Mills kicks to Duncan. Goes up high for the 2-handed dunk.
Cutting into that lead a little bit. Way to finish.
And the basket is still shaking.
Oh, I mean, he has got power in bunches on that 2-handed. And it's just hard to imagine the Spurs without Coach Popovich on the sidelines. He's the longest tenured coach in the NBA and has done so much for this team. Easily one of the best coaches in the history of our league.
Thompson for 3. And it's Thompson again missing.
not exactly striping them from deep. He had 1 3-ball in the first half. Still bagels in the second. Nothing fancy there. Didn't need it.
Nope. His only concern right now, Clark, is getting the points on the board, and I don't mean style points.
I like the simplicity.
Well, there's also style just with the fact that he's able to have that kind of a finish, though. Still, I like that pretty one-handed flush. And you know what? He's just not on his game, no doubt about it. Their deficit isn't totally on him, but he has not been an asset for his team.
Aldridge kicks to Leonard. And down it goes, jamming that one home.
Well, what a smart pass that time by Aldridge.
Thompson from long range. Green dishes to Curry. Three-pointer, and that one's good. Curry's got 17 now, just in the second half.
It has been a three-point barrage for them since halftime.
Not sure if it's been by design or simply by accident, but either way, it has been impressive.
The points coming in bunches as we wrap up the third quarter. It's been a good one. The Warriors on top, up by 7. And we're coming right back. Be sure to stay with us as we get started for the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter just moments away now as we welcome you back. Iguodala and Green are set at the forward spots. The Splash Brothers are the guards. And it's Bogut and at the pivot spot, manning the middle. That's the Warriors 5. Warriors leading by 7. And stolen by Aldridge. Shots good by Mills. Mills has got the first basket as we get going in the fourth for the Spurs. And it's blocked by Curry. And here's Green outside. San Antonio with the rebound. Aldridge has got 9 rebounds in the game. Getting it done. And Green gets it to go.
And that's 10 straight points in the paint. The defense, nowhere to be found.
I think they've really got to start committing more bodies down low and really kind of close that area off defensively.
Big time bucket there, and you can expect to see him stay very involved the rest of the way.
And here's Iguodala outside. Cannot hit. Great D that time from Leonard.
Well, if this game comes down to the rebounding battle, they'll be the ones coming out on top.
They've had a strong game on that front, Clark, no doubt about it.
Thompson outside. Looking to get it going. Howard down with both hands.
And that's how it's done. I mean, find that hole in the D and then go hard to the rack.
Maybe that hole was a little bigger than it should have been.
Well, it was. I mean, a tight game like this one, you'd think they'd have a little more energy at the defensive end than that. When you're hot, and that's certainly been the case for Green. 9 points and 7 assists. A terrific offensive combination, setting up teammates and knocking down the deep ball.
And winning basketball, Clark, there's no doubt that the two are related.
Second free throw, no good.
Yeah, look, you'd like to take the lead on that possession, but at least he was able to tie the game up. And now both teams really in a groove.
This game already, guys, was high scoring, but they've really amped and ramped it up to another level down the stretch. Right back to the basics there, using the one-hand slam for that one.
Doesn't he make the basics look pretty exceptional?
Yeah, he does. They look sweet when he does them.
And he better stay with those basics because this game is still yet to be determined.
Free throw good by Curry. And both free throws good for Curry.
And really, the tension could not be higher right now. And he looked like he was shooting free throws at practice. What a cool customer.
Knocked away. They kick it out to Green. Beyond the arc. Warriors with the rebound.
Boy, with an open look like that, he is so gifted. Man, you've got to play better defense. Eventually, he's going to make you pay.
Yeah, you can see he's still in rhythm, even though he misses that one. Almost always deadly when he's that open.
Here's Iguodala. A shot by Thompson, and no one's around. That falls. Nice feed that time from Andre Iguodala. Iguodala's got 4 assists now tonight. Aldridge, no one around him. And it's San Antonio with another.
It's just what the doctor ordered here. Boy, have they needed him here in the fourth.
Yes, they have. He's made all 4 of his shots this quarter, Greg. Definitely looking to be a dangerous guy. They've stepped up their three-point shooting game in the second half. They're letting it fly out there with reckless abandon.
Not lacking in confidence, and I really like that. Sometimes you see teams get conservative once they get a lead, playing not to lose.
Curry passes to Thompson. Fires the three. Another three for Golden State.
You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist numbers. And theirs are fantastic.
Just beautiful when they play the game like this.
Certainly that shot well within his range.
I would hope so.
And especially when he caps it off with the steady one-hand jam.
And it's Green missing. Spurs trail by 4. Inside, Duncan. And he caught that pass in full stride on his way to the big slam.
Flying high and throwing down the hard one-hander.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys.
And really, he does that one as well as anyone. Kev, you're right. That's like his signature move once he goes airborne.
And Mills kicks to Leonard. And now it's Green running. He can go all the way. Duncan with the block. And it goes out of bounds. That went off Duncan. And here's Green outside. Here's San Antonio. 4-point game. Count it!
Watch out now. Duncan is caught fire.
This could be a turning point.
Critical possession right here.
Curry connects.
No question about it. Curry is on fire right now.
About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. The drive by Green. It's in! And he has brought them to within 2 points.
What a bucket at one of the more crucial moments of the game.
How about the cool, collected way in which he delivered it? Clutch!
Now you need every basket you can get.
Greg, I think they're still alive here, but they better execute every trip down the floor from here on out.
He's off from 3. Here's Leonard. The bucket is good. He'll have a chance for one more. That one on Thompson.
Really strong rebounding on the interior, and he gets the easy putback.
He sinks the clutch free throw. Here's Bogut. Bullseye!
What a final quarter these guys are having from downtown, just burying the threes in bunches.
And they might as well keep going back to the well. No reason not to. I mean, work that perimeter. It's going good for you. Work it until it stops.
San Antonio calls timeout. Is what you're taking.
Your only chance here is to lob it towards the basket and go for the tip-in. There's not enough time left to catch and shoot.
Mills, that's a two-pointer, and he hits the shot. But hang on, guys. Hold everything. The officials may review it here. And they're going back to have a look at that shot once again to see if the horn had really sounded before the ball left his hand. This certainly isn't over yet. They may get a second chance. Now, if it's overturned, we're going to need overtime.
And honestly, guys, in real time, I couldn't really see whether he got it off in time. But with the benefit of replay, it seems pretty clear that the clock expired just before the release.
And you know, as a player, you're aware of that clock ticking down on you. But within that last fraction of a second, it's really hard to know when you're focusing on your release and the defenders if you waited just a split second too long.
And the final call's been made. The original ruling was correct, and the game is over. The basket will not count.
Well, Kevin, they had to make sure he hadn't gotten it off, guys. I mean, he was just a fraction of a second late. Extremely close by a nanosecond.
So it's a narrow victory for the Warriors, pulling out the W. That was a fun night of basketball and fabulous finish as Clark, they continued to wait out until the very last moment to seal.
Yep, and it might not be the way a coach would have drawn it up or wanted it to end, but these fans loved it.
And that about wraps it up for Clark.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Kevin, much appreciated, and now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Stephen Curry. He notched his season high, and his scoring really seemed to set the tempo for his team tonight. What are your thoughts, Kenny, on his game tonight?
He was the star of the show for them on the offensive end. Over half of their points came through him. I think he was the number 1 option, the number 2 option, number 3 option, and then when the coach called timeout, he was still the option.
I don't know what got into him tonight. Whew. He caught the scoring bug and was just pouring it in the paint. That's the kind of offense he's capable of delivering when he sets his mind to it.
And that'll do it for tonight. For Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal.